Hi everyone, Kelly here with the Siren and the Pirate, jewelry for the adventure, and I've got a new tutorial for you today. We're going to be making these ring designs. I actually remembered the other day that I used to make these, and so I sat down and made one and thought I would share it with you as well. So if you're looking for a new ring design, we're going to start with this basic design and then we'll add, I'll tell you how to add a bead into it. You can use thinner gauged wire. We're going to be using 16 gauge wire to make this ring design, but feel free if you're just starting off or your fingers aren't ready for 16 gauge wire, you could try 20 or another gauge. The design's gonna be the same, but it's gonna be much thinner is all. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started on this ring. All right, to start, we're gonna use 20 inches of 16 gauge wire. I am using copper wire today, and we'll need a ring mandrel. I am gonna go for a size 7 ring. So I'm gonna start maybe a half size larger because it is gonna shrink up a little bit because of the wrappings around the band. So I'm gonna start at like a 7.5. All right, so with this, I'm gonna try to do this in frame here. Sorry if it's not quite there. I'm gonna put my wire at the halfway mark, halfway between both sides, and wrap it around. Oh boy. Let's see, I'm gonna adjust my camera a little bit. Hang on. All right, hopefully this is a little better. Okay, so I'm going with like a 7.5. I'm gonna wrap it around the mandrel. I'm gonna do 2 wraps around. Okay. All right, and then this is the part where I might need to switch camera angles again because I'm going to take these two, and if you've watched my previous ring tutorials, you'd be very familiar with this part, but I'm going to twist these and start to create a spiral. So let me adjust the camera here. Okay, I'm going to hold this here for some leverage. So now I'm going to take the 2 wires and I'm going to twist them into a spiral. And don't worry if everything looks a little funky at this point. It's going to move around a little bit, but we'll secure it as we go. And then okay. Got 2 hammers. I could use this rawhide mallet or a chasing hammer. Either one would probably be fine, but along the way I'm going to tap the middle of this just to kind of keep it pressed down and even. And then I'm going to continue to spiral. Till about here. All right, this next part is kind of fun because all I'm going to start to do is create little loops around the spiral. So you can feel free to be very messy with this part. It's just supposed to kind of look like a big ball of mess. I kind of create this loop, but to tighten it, bring this over. And then I'm going to create another loop. And I'm going to do 2 on that one, and then I guess I'll start this side doing the same thing. If you need to position them, you can go in with a pair of pliers. twist it. And really that's all you do. You just kind of keep going around the middle with these loops. And like that. So you can see how I've just gone all the way around making little loops, and at any time you can go in with tools, a hammer, kind of smash things down into place. So right now it would kind of look like this. And you could stop right there and tie it off, but if you want kind of a bigger, bolder looking thing, I'm gonna do another layer of little circles over the top of this one. Use my ring mandrel just to have some leverage. So now I'm gonna do a whole other layer. One, and it certainly does look like a mess. I'm gonna do one more over here. Yeah, once in a while I'll go in and just smash things down, but you should end up with 2 wires, and we are gonna secure these 2 wires to the band. And if you have any gaps in your band at this time, don't worry, this next part will fix that. So I'm gonna use my pliers here, just like the other ring tutorials that I've done. This is how most of them go. We're gonna take him through and again, this is kind of some thick wire, so if you're having trouble with the thicker wire, I suggest trying this with like 20 gauge wire first. Kind of go back and forth, tighten that up. You can go around however many times you want, or however much wire you have left over. I'm going to stop about there and do the same thing over here. Okay. So this is what I've got. I'm gonna trim these two pieces. Push them down. All right, this is what we have. We can put it back on the ring mandrel. From here, you can just use your fingers to kind of push it down, tighten up the band, and work hard on it. We can flip it over and do the same thing. And so that's what we end up having, is this little Medusa crazy haired ring. I would probably put it on here and kind of give it some more taps around just to kind of shape it and compress everything. Yeah, that's better. All right, so there we go. And then we can patina it. I think they really turn out so cool because it's going to be so dark on the inside, and then just the outer edges are going to be highlighted with the copper. All right, so that is your first variation. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to add a bead into the center of the design. Okay, so I've gone ahead and done the first few stages of the ring we previously made. So did the spiral and then did all the loops one time around. So I end up with like 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom. And I'm ready to start like my second row here. But before we do that, we're gonna take a bead, and I believe this one is a 4mm bead. I think on the previous one, that's probably like a 6mm bead in there. So whatever is gonna fit, whatever you have laying around. And then you're gonna use a piece of 24 gauge wire. I've cut about 4 inches, and I'll string this through the bead. Hello. And I'll place that right in the center. Now I'm going to attach the wire to 2 of the loops on either side. So you'll need your pliers for this, probably. And I'll just secure it by wrapping it around the loop, maybe like 2 or 3 times. Oh, hello. Okay, so I've got one side secure, and I'm going to secure it to the other side, and then I'll bring it back. So the bead is secured in the middle of the ring, and you could actually stop right here if you wanted and just tie off the sides. But if you want the look where the bead is like kind of down in the middle of the ring, you're gonna go ahead and do the next step that we did before and just start to bring those loops up a little bit higher towards the top and middle of the ring. I'll probably do 3 again around the bottom. See how I'm bringing that right up over the top. I can do a few more. I might do less. You can just kind of play with it until you are content. And again, it's just supposed to have this kind of messy look to it. So when you're ready to tie it off, get those into position. Again, you can go in with like pairs of pliers and kind of squish things around or reposition your loops how you want them. And then you're going to do the same thing and tie it off onto the band. So that is what we end up with. So you've got two, well, basically the same style. One just has a little bead added to it, but they're kind of fun, little chunky rings. I think they look great when they're patinaed. And yeah, just an easy little design that you can have fun with. There's no wrong way to do it. Just kind of make a mess. It's just a pile of little swirls on top of a spiral based ring. Anyways, I really hope you enjoyed that one. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.